Gentlemen, I am happy to welcome you to our Taman Villa Emas community meeting, which I believe this meeting will prove profitable to us and the society. Thank you for attending to the meeting and welcome to our 7th meeting. We shall now proceed to deal with item number 2, which is apologies for absence. Mr. Secretary, is there any apologies for absence today?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Apologies for absence were received from Mr. Ahmad and Mr. Abbas.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Now let's proceed to our item number 3. Please read through the minutes of the last meeting, which were distributed earlier. Are there any amendments?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm SYAZWIE. I oppose to the amendment that item number 4 for the total of maintenance fees of houses listed as 350,000 was incorrect. The correct amount should be 150,000.
Thank you, Mr. SYAZWIE. I will make the necessary action.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm YASSIR, would like to oppose the amendments that item number 5, the name of proposed was written as Ahmad YASSIR. It's supposed to be Ahmad YASSIR.
Thank you, Mr. YASSIR. Sorry for mistakenly written your name.
Are there any other amendments?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Can someone propose that the minutes be posted as a true record of the business dealt with at the last meeting?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. I propose the minutes be passed as a true record of the business deal with at the last meeting.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I am AFIQ. Second the motion.
Now, let's move on to the item number 4. Any matters arising? Anyone?
Second the motion. Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm AFIQ. I would like to inform that the equipment at the gymnasium near the park were already broken due to long unused by the residents and had been not used since God left. However, many equipment had been changed with the new one already. The equipment was ready to use by everyone.
Thank you, Mr. AFIQ. Anything else to add, anyone?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. I would like to inform that someone who reported about the house at Lorong Valley, which is disturbing the peacefulness of the neighbors by foreigner tenant with their loud voices at night time, where everyone is already asleep, had been solved.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Anything else to add?
No,
No,
Mr.
No,
Mr.
Chairman.
Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman.
If there is nothing else,
No, Mr.
let
Chairman.
us proceed to our special business today about the way to enhance the security of our residence area since there were occurred criminal activities recently. Would any member like to propose their ideas?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm YASSIR. I would like to propose that one of the ways to improve the security of Taman Villa Emas was by installing fence wall all around the residential area. I thought this was the protection which is most required to prevent outsiders from entering our house easily in the morning or in the night.
Is there any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I am AFIQ. Seconded the motion.
Let's open for discussion.
Excuse me, Mr. Yassi. I'm Shazwi. Some types of fence wall can be climbed easily. So how to prevent it?
The fence wall is supposed to be very tall, thick, use strong materials, and have fence spikes to prevent easy climbing.
Is it legal to use fence spike?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I am AFIQ. We can put cautious sign board to make it legal.
Additionally, redwood is the best material for fence wall since it is durable and solid.
How about the cost to build the fence wall?
The cost is 50,000 ringgit, which is worth it to use for a long time and safety for our residents, either kids or adults.
So now let's vote.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I would like to agree with Mr. Yasser to put fence wall. This is because his idea by making the fence wall taller and bigger can prevent people from climbing a reduced rate of criminal activities.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. I also like to agree with Mr. Yassir's idea to build the fence wall. This is because the budget cost to build the fence wall is worth it because we can use it for a long time.
Since everyone agree, let's move on to our next idea. Anyone?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. I would like to propose that we need to use padlock alarm for each house. motion or light-enabled technology such as outdoor light and CCTV that is triggered by movement. Ensure it is pet-friendly and install CCTVs around the residential areas where all criminal activity can be carried out easily. I feel that the chance of the criminal activities such as robberies will be decreased.
Is there any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm SYAZWIE, seconded the motion.
Okay. Now let's open for discussion.
Excuse me, Mr. Harris. I'm YASSIR. I would like to know if padlock and CCTV are really needed and can help to reduce the risk of criminals.
Yes, Mr. Yassir, because padlock can reduce the time of the thief to open, lock the gate or door, and CCTV can easily track the thief movement. This can prevent the criminal from doing their wrong act because they can easily be recorded for the case.
How much the budget will be to install the padlocks and CCTVs?
Mm, the cost will be around 7,000 ringgit, excluding payment of hiring someone to install them.
How many padlock that you want to provide?
In my opinion, I would like to suggest to all residents to buy a padlock alarm for each house to reduce the criminal activities.
Is there any questions?
No.
No.
No,
No,
All right. Now let's vote.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm AFIQ. Disagree with Mr. Harris' idea because the budget is not precise. So, we do not know the actual cost to install the padlocks and CCTVs since it is not features the payment of hiring someone to install them. I think the actual cost will be more higher than our expectation.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm YASSIR. I agree with Mr. Harris' idea that by putting padlock and CCTVs around the resident's house to prevent crime from happen and to prevent from thief easily to open the gate.
Since majority agree with Mr. Harris, we will proceed with the idea. Are there any other ideas?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm AFIQ. I would like to inform one way to improve our security in our residential area is also be having professionally trained dogs at each house. I think by using this method, it can make home more safe and secure from any danger. It will cost around 1,000 ringgit for professionally trained dogs at each house.
Is there any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Yassir. Seconded the motion.
Now, let's open for discussion.
Excuse me, Mr. AFIQ. I'm SYAZWIE. So, what is the capabilities of the dog that can ensure the securities in our residents are safe?
When every house having a trained dog in their house, it will be secure and safe. The houses can be protected by the dogs, such as the dog bark loudly to someone that they are not familiar with, and this will make the person in danger situation and give a warning and announcement to us that there are strangers near our house. So we can be prepared and careful. Also, our neighborhood will notice the danger and come out to help.
Excuse me, Mr. Afiq. I'm Haris. I, I have a question. Do you think it is easy to put the dog for each house because it is prohibited for Muslims and may disturb their religious activities such as prayer and recital? There are also multi-religion in the community, so we have to respect other religions.
I did my research before, but I think that is has wrong because I didn't think our residential area has many religions. I apologize that I didn't double check my point precisely.
Okay, Mr. Afiq. Don't do the same mistake. After this, I'm sorry, but I will reject your idea because the idea is not suitable and relevant. Also, I think that not everyone want to have a dog in their house because Muslim cannot have a dog in their house as a pet. Now, let's move on to the next idea. Anyone?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm SYAZWIE. I would like to propose that for every house need to have at least one people that has been trained martial art to protect their family from any unexpected things such as robberies. This is because martial arts is really helping us to defend ourselves and scare the thief from doing criminal act.
Any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. Seconded the motion.
Let's open for discussion. I would like to ask you what kind of martial art that they need to learn to protect themselves.
Mm, I suggest Taekwondo. Mm, it is because it easy to learn than any other martial art.
Excuse me, Mr. Shazwi. I'm Yassir. I disagree with your point that residents need to learn martial arts. That's because most of the residents have no time to attend the martial art classes.
Excuse me, Mr. Shazwi. I'm Afiq. I don't like your idea. This is because not everyone wanted to learn the martial art.
Okay, Mr. Afiq, please continue with your idea.
Okay, like I said before, I don't like with Mr. Shazwi's idea because martial takes time to master. It must give the full commitment to whoever join the martial art.
Since majority disagree with Mr. Sazwi idea, we will not proceed with it. Now let's move to the next point. Are there any other ideas?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Yassir. I would suggest we can have our residential area monitored by the police officer every day because the cases have been rising lately. I felt that by having a police officer, it can make the criminals scared and hard to commit a crime around the area.
Is there any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Afi. Seconded the motion. This action also can lower the number of criminal cases that have been higher lately.
Okay, now let's open for discussion.
How much is the cost for hiring a police officer to check our residential area?
Hiring a police officer to inspect our residential area will cost us around 4,500 ringgit.
Okay, now let's vote.
I agree with this idea because the cost for hiring a police officer is affordable and worth it for our safety.
I also agree with Mr. Yassir's idea because by having a police officer around the residential area, the resident can help us to keep staying in a peaceful environment.
Since everyone agree with Mr. Yassir's idea, we will proceed with the idea. Now, are there any other ideas?
No,
No,
Mr.
Mr.
So, Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman,
Then, I, as the chairman, would like to propose that we need to ban foreigner from our residency because I think most of them being rude and lack of sense of humanity. This may lead robbery cases in our community increase drastically.
I'm Yassir, seconded the motion.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. How do you want to ensure that we can ban the foreigners for being our residents?
We can contact the building owner to make sure that the tenant must have a valid documentation and Malaysian nationality only can rent or own the house in our residence.
excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Afi. I don't like with the idea because not all of the foreigners are bad guys.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I'm SYAZWIE. I agree with Mr. Afiq because the idea will provoke discrimination issue in the society.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. I also don't agree with the idea because most foreigners pay higher rental price, and it will gain more profit from them.
Seems like most of you didn't agree with my idea. We will not proceed with it. Is there anything else to add?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No,
No,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman.
Okay, now let's move on to the next item. Is there any other business to be discussed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm AFIQ. I would like to inform that the community gathering that held every Saturday at Park was very well attended. Will make our bonding become closer. Our residents is very safe and enjoy the gathering activities. They also request for another to be met another class on Wednesday.
Okay, so
Uh, excuse me. I'm SYAZWIE. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I also want to add that the resident asked for aerobic class to be had once a month. This will strengthen our relationship as a peaceful community.
okay. Anything else to add?
No,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman.
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I will put this matter on the agenda for the next meeting. The next meeting will be held on 29th October 2020 at 8:30 a.m. in the mobile meeting room. Now we have arrived at the last item. Thank you for coming to the meeting. Will someone propose that the meeting will be closed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I'm Haris. Propose that the meeting will be closed.
Is there any seconded?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. I am YASSIR, seconded the motion.
All right. Now I declare the meeting is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.